wearing a black t-shirt and blue jeans, connecting from Maharashtra. And here it's a bright sunny day today.
Hi everyone, I'm Vidya. I'm wearing a black kurti. It's an Indian top, and I'm sitting in office, and I have a back white screen behind me. Today we are going to be presenting our topic, product engineering with MDOCS. So let's jump right into it. So we believe inspiration can be found in any situation, especially if you are a product engineer. There are two types of inspiration according to us. There is one which is an instant inspiration. One I feel is a delayed inspiration, and that is that's what happened with me. I had a delayed inspiration, and let me tell you about a story about around this. So I had a doctor's appointment at on a Friday evening in March. It was around at 6 o'clock. It was scheduled for 6 o'clock, and I was running late. I parked my car in a hurry in a jam-packed location, running to the hospital. But it turned out there was a 1 hour delay. I entered the doctor's office only post 7 o'clock. Had I known this, I would have parked my car in peace and walked more calmly to the hospital. Plus, I had waiting anxiety because I had a dinner planned after it. So I had to move things, but I did not know what time I can ask my parents and the guests to come to the restaurant that day. So this whole scenario, when it happened to me, I was frustrated, not inspired for sure. But this led to inspiration for later on to build a product, and that's the product that we're going to be talking about today. But while we were discussing about what other things can be improved as a part of this industry, we also thought about another scenario where my grandfather was admitted in the hospital for gallbladder removal surgery, and the doctors were asking us about the medications he took. And he takes quite a lot of them for BP and for sugar, and he's not very organized. So we did a bit of treasure hunting at home to find his prescriptions, didn't find it, and eventually went to his Med Plus order history and backtracked as to which medicine he takes when. So carrying all of these kind of documents in an emergency situation is quite difficult. And let's say you do want to get a consultation across seas, sending across all of these files gets becomes a hassle. There was a time when we would write the phone numbers in a phone book, and that's how we used to save it, and then it turned digital. So we hope the same will happen with medical records. We will start digitally saving it, and it'll uh, have its own set of advantages. So now that these were our inspiration points, these two stories were our inspiration points, we use this inspiration to build a product called MDOCS. And we want to talk to you about the journey of MDOCS and inspire you to be able to build products in the future as well. So now that we have our inspirations in place, what are the features that will actually solve this problem? To do this, we had to sit down in a room, get different perspective from different people. That was the use case discussion that we had, and we built a lean MVP. What is the minimum viable product that we require to solve these two problems? Definitely, features can be added on later. So once we have our lean MVP, we built a product architecture, we picked the tech stack that we need to support these features. Once those were also put into place, we went ahead, built a prototype, and we haven't yet launched it, but the launch would be the next step. Even though it's a lean MVP, we have to fail fast, right? So we would launch it nonetheless, even with the less features that we have, and then walk the circle with the feedback and the other features that we have in backlog. So this is how we would build a product when we inspiration hits us. So hopefully this process helps you as well, and we'll walk you through our process of all of these steps in the further slides.
So this is our first MVP feature, avatar wait. This feature address to the problem Vidya was talking about, like crowded waiting area, waiting anxiety, and no time management. So this feature allows you to know how much wait time is there, and it also sends the notifications to the patient that there is some delay for your appointment, and you can do your work and then come for it. So here it comes. the second feature, that is EHR, which is electronic health record. There we wanted to make the medical data digitally available for available to you anytime, anywhere. And this feature we are building with blockchain. Blockchain comes with lot of advantages, but we are not going much deep into blockchain today as we are having another session on it. But let's try to understand why blockchain.
So, like we mentioned, those were our MVP points, and we had to pick the technology to support it. We believe that blockchain was a good choice for building our electronic health records because medical data is sensitive data. Uh, so, if I were to give an analogy as to how blockchain actually works, let's say you have a prescription of yours that you want to put into blockchain. Let's say we call that a bank locker. When you put this medical record into a bank locker, it gets replicated across all the bank lockers in all the branches of that particular bank. So there are multiple copies of your prescription now. Let's say due to some data corruption, one particular bank locker, the data is corrupted. That locker is pulled out of the network entirely. The data that is there across the other lockers will stay concurrent, and that is the data that you can access. And this is along the lines of not putting your eggs in the same basket, risking all your data in just one place. This is how we feel, it secures medical data and supports our application. That's why we chose blockchain. Now that we have at least one technology in place, we want to talk to you about how the architecture for this will look as we need to develop it as well. Now, imagine the scenario where the user is coming onto our app and requesting to see his medical records. This is how the flow has to go. We probably have to forward the request to an API layer, which further will forward it to our Hyperledger Fabric Composer, which is a private blockchain as opposed to Ethereum. Like she mentioned, we have a session down the line by Jay Mahajan about this. Now, the request is forwarded to Hyperledger Fabric. We authenticate the user using smart contracts. Once he's authenticated, we pull out the information from the block, or in our case, the bank locker, and we send it to the user. And like you can see, there are multiple peer networks. These are the multiple lockers that I was talking about. So this is how the bird's eye view of the architecture for blockchain would look like. Now, this is one feature. The other feature that we had was the avatar wait scheduler, which is helping us with communication with the other patients to see how much queuing time is left. As the patient before me actually gone in for his appointment, if he hasn't gone in, we already know that there is a delay. So this kind of calculation is being done by our scheduler, which is running round the clock. And let's say there's an appointment for Dr. Strange at 11:15. So at 11:10, we message the patient Thanos asking if he is running late. And if he responds to it by saying he is running late, we take this information. Let's say there's another patient at around 11 o'clock who's punctual, and he's already entered the office, so he can enter it. He can punch in his entrance, and we will start making calculations saying that the next patient is going in. So we tell Thanos that you can take a little bit of time to park your car or whatever it is, and then you can come in. And this scheduler continues to send notifications to the next patient and so on and so forth. Now that this architecture is put into place, we chose Django server with Celery and Redis for our queuing system to build this. And like I already mentioned, our blockchain was supported with Hyperledger Fabric and a API layer which was written in Node and Express. Our front-end application that we are going to demo to you is a React PWA application. Finally, all of this was deployed on Azure.
So here is the team who worked on MDOCS. Avinash, Ravi, Vidya, Anu, and myself, Kiran, who worked on it. Currently, we have Vidya and myself, Kiran. So we saw about avatar weight and EHR. So now let's see how does it work. So this is our dashboard. We have a patient called Thanos here. Just for the human's sake, we have Thanos here, who is looking for the cardiologist. He comes and books the appointment with the Doctor Strange. So now the time is 11:08, and he tries to check in the appointments available, and he comes here to take the next appointment, which is at 11:15 to 11:20, and he books the appointment. So there is another guy who is looking at the cardiologist with Dr. Strange again, and he comes and take the appointment with Dr. Strange now from 11:20 to 11:15. 11:20 to 11:25. Sorry. Yeah. Now Steve is very punctual, and he comes and enter the appointment. So this is one part of it where the patient has booked the appointment and he entered the appointment. Now we have the scheduler part of it, and let's see how does it work. So we have Mickey and Minnie scheduled one after another, and there is a delay from Mickey's end. So we are going to send notifications to the Minnie that her appointment will be rescheduled and there will be a delay. So let's see how this bubbling is going to work. So Mickey is scheduled at 4. He entered at 4:10 and he completed his appointment at 4:32. And Minnie was scheduled at 4:20. So there is already 12 minutes delay for Minnie. So we are going to send these notifications to Donald, who is after Minnie, that he should expect some delay in his appointment. So this is the 12-minute delay which we saw from this small POC. This can be in real time an hour or more. And for the further patients, it can even more. So this is the application that this scheduler we can also integrate with current platforms like Practo as well, where we can send the notifications and updates to the patient about their delays in appointment. So now let's come back to the appointment of Thanos and Steve. We saw that Steve already came earlier and he entered the appointment, and Thanos went. So now we are going to send this notifications to the Thanos that his appointment is rescheduled now to 11:20, and he will be able to take this time for climbing stairs or parking car. So this is one part of the MVP, that Evita wait, where we are going to send notifications, the calculated wait time to the patient. There is another part of it, which is EHR, which is electronic health record. This records we are going to save using blockchain. As blockchain comes with a lot of advantages like greater transparency, reduced traceability, and better security. So we selected blockchain, and here patient can create his wallet by clicking on the create my wallet. He can add the files, the documents which he wants to save for his for his medical data. And when he clicks on view all my files, he will be able to see all the files which he had uploaded in his device earlier. And this files he can access from anywhere. He can also provide the authorized permission to the doctor or to the his through his loved ones, so that they can access this documents. And this can be available to access anytime anywhere within few clicks.
Right. So you saw our MVP, and it was a circle initially when we spoke about that. Once the product is built, we again go back. We had a lot of features in the backlog that we still wanted to develop, and we just wanted to give a flavor of that. We wanted to build a Medino bot if the patient gives us permission to track his medical data. Something as simple as having a pus on my arm, I did not know which doctor to go to. Went to another doctor and he referred to me to the other one, and so on. So once we start reading this data, we can have a bot which helps people pick the right doctor as per the symptoms. And as the pus that I was talking about, once it was removed, if I had gotten in touch with other people who had faced something similar, I would have gotten some advice from them, which would have been helpful as well. So even for small things, having a support group does matter, is our belief. uh, Thirdly, we think that in Western countries, there is a culture of a centralized emergency vehicle. So, especially with stroke patients and heart attack patients, time is of the essence. And Bangalore being Bangalore, or India having many metropolitan cities with a lot of traffic, we believe that at least we can cut down the time of the ambulance reaching the patient. Once it's reached the patient, yes, the hospital that you decide to go to for stroke and heart attack could be different because of the speciality of the hospital. But at least we can cut down on the time that the ambulance takes to get to the patient by centralizing the system. So the nearest ambulance will come to the patient. Finally, the last two features that have actually come true, they're called quick anecdote, where you get your medicines quickly from your local vendor. So it's just a small delivery service, last mile service almost. And Connect Labs is where the lab comes home and takes your lab reports. Having seen these two come alive over the last year or so shows that our product was headed in the right direction. Um, so this is our product, MDOCS. So our talk was we were hoping to inspire you to bring your inspirations to life and to use the tech to build a product as well, and hopefully the product life cycle that we took helps you build your products. Thank you.